What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Ollie Out Show, sponsored by the One Football app. For all your up-to-date football news, make sure you scroll down into the description and download the app. Manchester United lost 2-0 to Watford, bruv. And you know what's mad? Flex, I spoke to Flex this morning and he was like, bruv, I've got a Watford ticket for you, yeah? I think it was like £120. I said, no thank you, my G. Because I knew exactly what was going on. You see the fan channel thing at the moment. You know what's mad with the whole football debate? People coming out saying I'm a better fan than you, this, that and the other. That's what a lot of fans are saying to other fans, bro. I got way better things to do with my £120 than go and watch that shit. And if that makes you a better fan than me, cool. I don't care, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that money that man could have spent on that Watford ticket, gave that to my mum to go buy some food for Christmas, blood. This is what we're doing out here. So you know what? If it makes you a better fan, that's cool, innit, bruv? It's cold outside and United played some shit football for 90 minutes. So you know what? If it makes you feel better, I hope you enjoyed it anyway. What a fucking joke today. What a joke today. And you know what's funny, yeah? A lot of people think that giving Ollie more money is going to sort this out. How many clean sheets have we kept this season? Ollie spent 130 million pounds on this defence. Can't keep clean sheets to save his fucking life. But you think you're going to give this man more money and all of a sudden things are going to happen. The reason why we're not creating chances against small teams has got nothing to do with the personnel. Because we're creating chances against big teams. That's stupid. In boxing terms, that's like saying, you know what, I can beat Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, but I can't beat Derek Chisora. Why not, blood? If you can beat the best in the league, then you should be able to beat the journeyman in the league. Watford had scored, 7 goals in the whole season before today, and they get 2 goals against us. People can say, yeah, individual mistakes, cool. Doesn't matter. Too many errors were made tactically and have been made tactically for the whole damn season for me to not want to hear about this. I don't want to hear about this. When you look at football, I said it yesterday in the Rants Red Talk that came out. Arteta came out and he said football is all about creating angles to make it easier for your teammate, etc, etc, etc. Manchester United's movement off the ball is shocking. It's diabolical. That's down to the manager and the manager only. What are these guys doing in training? I'll tell you what they're doing in training. Running. That's all these men are doing. There's no football IQ out there between any of them. Pogba and Martial, as soon as they linked up in the last 20 minutes, United, you can see Pogba and Martial are 2 wavelengths above everyone else. You know why? Because them French guys had a proper footballing education in France. These other idiots that they're running around with, yeah, most of them just so happen to be educated here, yeah. Oh shit, bruv. They've got no football IQ, bruv. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want to start this whole Rashford thing again, yeah, because he's a talented kid. But you could tell that he ain't had a proper football education because he was nowhere. As soon as Martial went on the left wing, he looked good, bro. Martial, British. No, Rashford, British. Luke Shaw, British. Harry Maguire, British. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, British. Scott McTominay, British. Daniel James, British. Jesse Lingard, British. That's 7 man, bruv. Shit, bro. Shit. Don't know how to move off the ball, blood. Dead. Their football education's been a shambles. That's what it is. Pogba and Martial can do this thing on their own. On their own. They don't need a coach to tell them where to run once they've played the ball or what to do. Because these men have been educated properly in the game of football. These British men are crap, bro. Like, on a level. Like, I'm not talking about talent. I'm just talking about understanding the game. And you see that up to the pundits as well. Most of these men don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Gary Neville's a muppet. Don't know what he's talking about, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? He's a club legend and that he was played under one of the greatest managers in the history of sport, period, and in one of the greatest football teams. But actually, as a player, he was bang average at best. Bang average. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's one of these things where, like, a lot of the things he's talking about, I'm just like, leave it. It's mad frustrating. What is Ollie teaching these man? There's no triangles. The reason why Raheem Sterling's bag of tappings right now, don't you think when Kevin De Bruyne gets that ball on the inside right channel, that Pep is not drilling these man to make these back post runs or to make that centre circle, the penalty spot run? The amount of times De Bruyne picks up that ball in the inside right channel, fizzes it across the box and someone's on the end of it, it's not a mistake. These things are practiced again and again and again and again. This is the whole point of training. This is what Arteta was talking about when he was talking about creating angles and repetition. And when he said, it makes it easier to make my glass of water if I always know, that the glasses are going to be in that cupboard, bruv. Like, it's all about knowing where your teammate's going to be even before you receive the ball. There's none of that in Manchester United. It's freestyle football. That's down to the manager. I don't want to hear nothing about the players. If the players are good enough to beat Chelsea, good enough to beat Tottenham, good enough to beat Manchester City, then they're good enough to beat Watford. So this ain't on the players. Yeah, cool, these man's football IQ ain't all that, but they shouldn't be going out there freestyling. They should have a plan. Ollie sent these men out here with no plan. The guy's a bum of a manager. I've said it many, many, many times. He's a bum of a manager. He's done nothing in football. And we got football Twitter telling Ollie what substitutions he should make. Football Twitter knows more than Ollie about what he should be doing. How am I even saying Daniel James and Jesse Lingard need to come off for Pogba and Greenwood? I'm saying this in the first half. It took Ollie 60 minutes to make that change. That change should have been made at half time. Does it take you 1 whole hour to see that something isn't working? No, it doesn't. Daniel James flatters to deceive because he runs around so much. A lot of you, man, think that he's a good footballer, bro. He's bang average at best. He's a passion merchant. He works his socks off and he puts in a great shift. But he's the kind of player you bring on with 15, 20 minutes to go with tired legs. Or you start him away from home against a team that you're not too sure about. But against teams that ain't really going to cause you no trouble, Daniel James don't need to start, bro. He's so basic. He's so basic and predictable, just like Ollie's football. Scott McTominay had a howler today, got pulled off. There wasn't much talk of that on football Twitter, because if that was Fred, they would have been hammering him. They spent today hammering Martial, even though he was one of the best players on the pitch. Arguably the best player on the pitch throughout the course of 90 minutes. Scott, good player, but like I said in Rants Red Talk, ain't nobody saying that they want Scott McTominay in their team, bruv. Like, Man United fans overrating Scott because he's one of our own. So because of that, man are gassing up Scott. But in reality, like, he's a bog standard footballer. And actually, over the course of the season, you'll start to see that. When you put him next to Paul Pogba, it's a joke. And even now, Fred's been better than him consistently now for the last month. So it's just mad. It's mad to me, bro. Because I just don't even want to place the blame on individual players, bro. Like, Rashford had a stinker today. He missed a chance as well. Martial put onto him. But Rashford's been in some brilliant form. So I'm not going to blame Rashford for his performance today, because players are allowed to have an off day. Rashford ain't had an off day really for a while, so I can't blame Rashi. Daniel James has been bang average for a long time. I think I read somewhere that he hasn't scored a goal since September or something like that. But he's the best we have, because Ollie didn't think that we needed a proper right winger in the summer. And even now, we're still getting linked with Haaland when we should be getting linked with a proper right winger. There's talk of Sancho, Chelsea trying to offer money for Jadon and that. Jadon Sancho should be our number one priority right now, because that right wing is not sorted. It's not sorted. And against teams that ain't going to trouble us too much, yeah, Greenwood has to start on that right-hand side again instead of Daniel James, because he can't unlock anything, bro. He's got no creativity. It's head down, push it down the byline, and then just cut it back and hope. Like, it's not good enough, innit, for the top level. Troy Deeney was just absolutely wreaking havoc, bruv. Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof were getting absolutely, like, just batted up at the back, really. Troy was up there on his own, and he had them, man, at 6s and 7s. They looked like they were panicking. He was all over them, man. And like me and Flex said in the show, because we know Troy, We know Andre Graham, we know Mariappa, and we knew that these men were coming to fight, bruv. Like Map said, yo, this is war. I knew Troy was going to be on stuff. Knew Troy was going to be on stuff. And he rattled them two man there. Harry ain't looking like no 80 million centre back, fam. He's not. Rattled. Embarrassing. Wan-Bissaka gave the penalty away. Other than that, he had a good enough game, to be honest. Like, yeah, he mistimed the challenge and it was rash, but you know what? You can't always have 100% tackle win percentages. The amount of times that Wan-Bissaka's rescued us, he's allowed to make a mistake. Because even today, I think he made a couple last-ditch challenges where you think, right, how did he recover? So with him, there's always going to be a chance that he'll have an off day. Today was probably the worst that I've seen him play. And even then, apart from the penalty, he didn't make too many mistakes, bro. So I'm going through this team, yeah, and I'm seeing a bunch of players that are underperforming in terms of the sum of their parts, bro. These man, like none of these man, I would really say are shit. It's only really Luke Shaw, yeah, and Andreas Pereira that I think, yeah, that like as a manager, like I wouldn't give them any minutes. Like I wouldn't give them any minutes. If I was in charge of the team, they would never play for me ever. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And other than that, there's other players there. Even like the Lingard, he missed a little thing when he tried to chip the keeper. But the run that Lingard made, the third man run, was actually a good run. And it was a good ball from Martial. And he showed confidence to try and dink the goalie. And actually, when you're running straight down in the middle of the goal and the goalkeeper's in the middle, the goal, because the keeper's so far out, the goal looks a lot smaller. Like, unless you've played football, yeah, and you've been bearing down on the goalkeeper and they're like standing on the penalty spot, it doesn't look like you have much to aim at. It doesn't, bruv. These men are 6'2", 6'3" goalkeepers. So going over him is the most sensible thing to do. But it takes quite a bit of finesse. So yeah, he missed it and that, and people are getting onto him. But honestly, I don't think that chance was as easy as people think. Coming from experience, like you could go and try and hit the corners, but the keeper's probably going to save it unless you send him the wrong way. You just have to be brave and maybe try and go round him. But then if you try and round the keeper and the keeper stays on his feet and he sends you too wide, then people are saying you should have taken it early. So it's one of them things where it's a lottery, innit? So I'm not going to hold that against him. But other than that, overall, Lingard wasn't great. And again, these men are not being coached, bruv. This all goes down to the manager. Poch, come outside. I just want to chat to you for a second, rude boy. End of the season, I'm trying to see Pochettino at Manchester United. I believe it's going to happen. And I swear to God, I'm just holding on for that. If we get Poch at the end of the season, you man will see me at every conceivable game that I can be at. Because right now, I've got 2 season tickets in my drawer, yeah. And there's certain games, yeah, like if I'm not overnighting at Old Trafford, I'm not going. A lot of the time, me and Flex stay overnight. But if we don't stay overnight and we have to come back down the same night, I'm just not on it, bruv. For the simple fact that even Flex lives in the north, like in Luton, and I live in South London. So even after getting into London, man still got to do another hour on top of that to get back to my yard. So more times I'm doing an 8-hour round trip. I'm simply not doing it for that football. I don't give a shit. I don't care, bruv. Like, man, there's more to life, yeah, than mashing up myself to go and watch that bullshit. I'll tell you that. So, absolutely, I'm fuming, guys. I know a lot of you, man, are fuming as well. And I just don't even know where to begin, bro. Like, there's just so many things that are wrong with this. And ultimately, this stems down to how these men are being trained. Because you can't tell me there's not talent there. Mason came off the bench, talented footballer. Rashford, talented footballer. Fred, talented footballer. Fred actually tries to pass the ball, yeah, into space to encourage movement because there's no movement. If you watch Fred, he'll either fizz it into someone's feet because he's used to playing with techie man that he can fizz it into them and they can bounce it off. Or Fred tries to kind of put it in front of man to say, yo, go, go. Because players should be making these runs already and they're not making them. Pogba, Fred, Martial, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Rashford, Greenwood. There's quality there. There is quality there, bruv. There is. So I'm tired of people scapegoating, yeah, like the level of the players as to why we're not winning games. What you think? Watford ain't got a single player that would have got into our team today, bruv. No, none of them. Man say Decore ain't that good. Only maybe Delafeu, because Delafeu is definitely better than Daniel James. Probably the only the Brer that gets into our team ahead of what we've got, bruv. That's not good enough. Ollie's going to come out smiling again. I ain't watched the press conference, but he'll come out smiling and saying, oh, the lads were unlucky, and talk about effort and all of that. It's got nothing to do with effort. You're a shit manager, bro. I'm tired of it. Trash manager. Trash. How are Manchester United got a manager that wouldn't get another Premier League job? If Ollie gets sacked today, what Premier League club's taking Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Based on what? I think he's got 10 wins as Manchester United manager, permanent manager. 10 wins in total. In total, bruv. This is what we're dealing with. Like, my head is super hot, guys. Like, let me know what you think of today's shambles. Because that's all it was. The only positive I saw was Paul Pogba came back. He looked like he ain't been out a day. He looked fresh. His passing was brilliant. He looked brave, inventive, and him and Martial, the link up was immediate. Martial went out to the left and looked like a better on the left than Rashford. And then up front, he's our best player down the middle and our best player down the left as well, bro. Which means we need a right-sided player. And it's a mad thing now where if Haaland does come in, Martial could go out to the left. Rashford has to go out to the right, bruv. Because realistically, if we get Haaland in Jan and we don't get a right-sided player, Rashi might have to move over to the right. Because, boy, Martial's just better, innit? That's just how it is. Like, on paper, Rashi's having a good season and he scores goals and that. But honestly, like, if you understand football and the levels of football, you can see that Martial is a whole level above Marcus Rashford, bruv. He is as a footballer. And Pogba's 2 levels above everyone else. Pogba's literally world class, innit? So today it's a game to forget, guys. Loads of people messaging saying, oh, I can't wait to see the Flex and Rant show. Obviously, I don't like this. I said to Flex we were going to draw today. I said we definitely wouldn't win, but I did not think we were going to lose 2-0. I can't even lie. Did I think that we could lose? Absolutely, because this is Manchester United. I've said it again and again and again. The results against Tottenham, against Chelsea, all this don't mean shit unless we dispatch of the teams below us, and we're not doing that. And that's down to management. That's down to style of play. That's down to coaching. That's not down to individual players. It's not down to individual performances. As much as De Gea made a mistake against a team like Watford, we're meant to be 3-0 up by then anyway, so the mistake don't really mean nothing. So let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. Like, my head's hot here right now, and usually I wait a while before I do my match reactions because obviously I don't really like doing them angry, innit? I really don't like them doing angry. I like to be able to sit down, kind of take it in, analyze it a bit more, and be more analytical. But I'm honestly pissed off, innit? I'm pissed off, guys. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section, guys, and big up everyone I interacted with on Twitter as well. It's at Rants and Bants on Twitter and Instagram if you haven't got it. Make sure you download the One Football app for all your up-to-date footballing news. That's also in the description, and as usual, your discount code for your clothes is also in the description. It's Man Like Rants at the checkout. Yeah, my head's hot, guys, so I'm gonna go in it, and I'm gonna try and stay off Twitter right now, in it, because it's coming up to the Christmas period. A man's supposed to be, I'm meant to be in a good mood and them things there. If you're gonna be at Old Trafford on Boxing Day, then I'll see you guys there. And yeah, big up yourselves.